Has everyone had an opportunity to read this, or would they like to read this, or would you just like to get into the nuts and bolts? Okay, basically I'm going to read this. This was sent by Case Sabatini today. It says, "Dear Eric, attaches your request, as requested, your report as requested. Thank you for the opportunity to provide services to the Armstrong School District."
Can you give the audience a little reflection on what this is in regards to?
Okay, what this is regards to.
How much it costs?
Sorry, what's that?
How much did it cost? Right? Do we know how much this?
Well, it was
what we're going to be charged for this?
It was passed by the board up to $4,000. We have not received an invoice at this time. So the maximum amount will be $4,000. And what happened was, because of our budget to actual ending fund balance, there was a discrepancy of about $4 million. So what the board approved was to have a different auditor from our normal auditor. Our normal independent auditors, Smith, Bertocchi, Arbaugh, and Hall. So what they did is they asked the solicitor to come up with some names on who they could get as an independent to look over our financials, for the reason of wondering why we had this excess fund balance. What Case Sabatini did was request various financial information for the past 3 years, and they studied this in depth. And then after that, they actually showed up one day, they basically asked, they didn't ask very many questions. Basically, Mr. Pepper and I were the only ones that he really, his name was Ed Gardner, and he just asked a couple questions, and then after that he went back and he put his report together. So what this report is going to state is how our financial outlay is basically for the past 3 years. But the real reason was why we had such a high ending fund balance compared to our budget amount for the year ending June 30th, 2009. Our projected ending fund balance was supposed to be $999,000, and we ended up with an ending fund balance of $5,189,955. What I'm going to read to you is basically the variance of this 2009 audit. Reviewing the budget variance on the expenditure side shows several major variances. Student transportation with a favorable variance of approximately $560,000. Transfers out with a favorable variance of approximately $554,000. And a budgetary reserve with a favorable variance of $500,000. The remaining variances are spread across the expenditure categories for staff and program. Our review shows results consistent with the superintendent's memo dated November 16, 2009. We specifically discussed the variance in student transportation with the Director of Transportation and the business manager. The full implementation of the new routing software was highly beneficial in eliminating duplicate bus runs and reducing the number of trips necessary for the year. Review of the 6/30/2009 financial statements show clearly that at least an additional $243,000 should have been transferred to the capital projects fund, as the fund had a negative fund balance in that amount of 6/30/2009. Certainly, as the budget allowed, additional funds could have been transferred to the capital projects fund to cover amounts expected to be earned within 60 days of the year end. Additionally, the budget reserve of $500,000 was not transferred to capital reserve fund as it has been in the past. What there are is there's 3 different spreadsheets and I'm not going to get into, it's basically for years June 30th, 2009, June 30th, 2008, and June 30th, 2007. What I will read is the last paragraph of the last two paragraphs of the report. Each year of the past 3 years has produced a large variance between the budgeted ending fund balance and the actual ending fund balance. Almost 1.4 million for 2007 year, almost 2.5 million for the 2008 year, and almost 4.2 million for the 2009 year. Please note that on an $80 million budget, a variance of 1.25% produces a difference of $1 million in the ending fund balance. Additionally, the district's financial management has been in continuous transition for the past 3 years. Positive variances are a sign of better than expected circumstances and responsible financial management. The clear conclusion to draw from these several years' history is that the district needs to perform or have performed a comparison of budget to actual several times during the year. Financial management personnel need to either provide such an analysis to be empowered to obtain such an analysis for the board's review. Of course, the response to such an analysis can include budget transfers from areas that are experiencing positive results to other areas that could productively use additional resources. Given the looming difficulties school districts appear to be facing from the increasing pension costs, the district's prudent financial management needs to continue into the future and make use of all resources that are available to it for good analysis. We would be pleased to assist with the budget and actual comparisons in the future or in whatever role we can provide useful assistance. Sincerely, K. Sabatini, Certified Public Accountants.